When I moved into my apartment, I thought I had finally found a peaceful place to live. It was small but comfortable, with an old charm that I actually liked. The only thing that felt a little off was the air vents, wide, dark slats in the walls that seemed to stretch into nothingness, but I didn't think much of them at first. That changed after my first night. As I lay in bed, just on the edge of sleep, I heard something, a whisper. It was so faint I thought I imagined it, just the wind traveling through the vents. But as the nights passed, the whispers continued. Sometimes it sounded like hushed voices just beyond my understanding. Other times it was the distinct sound of breathing, slow, deep, too deliberate to be a draft. I told myself it was just the old pipes, but one night, as I lay awake, staring at the vent near the ceiling, I heard something that froze me. My name. Someone whispered my name through the vent. My blood turned to ice. I sat up, my breath shallow, listening. Silence. The kind that presses in from all sides, suffocating. I was too afraid to check, too terrified to look. The next morning, I convinced myself it had been a dream, lack of sleep, an overactive imagination. But that night, something changed. As I climbed into bed, my phone vibrated. A notification. A new recording saved. Confused, I unlocked my phone and saw it was a voice memo. The timestamp? 3:12 a.m. My hands shook as I pressed play. At first, it was just static. Then, buried beneath the white noise, was breathing, deep, rasping breathing. And then, my own voice. Sleepy. Confused. Hello? My stomach twisted. I didn't remember waking up. I didn't remember recording anything. Then came the whisper, so clear it sent a shiver down my spine. I see you. I dropped my phone, my body locked in fear. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed awake watching the vent, heart hammering in my chest. I decided to cover it. I dragged a heavy dresser in front of it, blocking the opening. A ridiculous move, I know, but it made me feel safer. Until the next night. At exactly 3:12 a.m., I woke up. Not because of a sound, not because of a whisper, but because my room was freezing. My breath curled in the air, my body rigid under the blankets. And then I heard it. From the vent on the opposite wall, a slow, deliberate knocking. Knock, knock, knock. The blocked vent wasn't the only one. My stomach turned as realization set in. My building was old. The vents were connected. Whatever was whispering to me, whatever had been watching me, had just found another way in. I lay there, paralyzed, as the knocking grew louder. And then, the cover of the vent slid open. I didn't stay to see what was behind it. I ran, grabbing only my keys and my phone. I spent the night in my car, parked far from my apartment. The next morning, I broke my lease. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about anything except getting out. The landlord barely blinked when I handed him the keys. He just sighed and said, "Did you hear them too?" I didn't ask him to explain. I didn't want to know. I just left. Now, in my new place, I made sure of one thing. No vents. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I swear I can still hear it. A whisper just beyond my understanding. The end.